My name is Jay-Z, and I am the producer of Miracles. The intention of this show is to create a bridge between despair and hope, including the despair produced by post-traumatic stress disorder. Post-traumatic stress disorder, also called PTSD, is a pandemic. It is an invisible wound carried by millions of people who have been affected by military violence, childhood trauma, sexual abuse, domestic violence, and more. Some symptoms are withdrawal, isolation, loss of interest in activities, difficulty organizing thoughts, oftentimes experienced as brain damage or concussion-like symptoms, psychic numbing, flashbacks, and more. PTSD can be an excruciating condition that sometimes leads people to suicide. Miracles connects with that level of despair and aims at opening a pathway to hope. With that intention in mind, on February 20th of this year, 2012, I met in a yoga studio with 4 holistic practitioners who work with trauma clients or have walked the road of recovery from trauma themselves, as I have. We met to view and discuss my film Over the Mass Grave God Among Us, based on my own flashbacks of military violence in Argentina in the 1970s. The film also incorporates conversations between my inner child and Mr. Pluff. These conversations were enacted for many months with my therapist during sessions. The experience of entering a magical world, finding the voice of my hurting inner child, speaking with a little child's voice, laughing, crying, and playing with Mr. Pluff, was a critical stage in my healing journey. Basically, this is a film about horror intertwined with my spiritual journey. The whole idea about this video and my other videos and my books and my whole work is about presenting the excruciating human suffering that goes on and how to move out of it through spirituality. So I'm just telling my own journey, but I'm hoping that people will find elements that will be helpful for them to move out of helpless and hopeless and darkness and lostness. The storyline is very broken, and it represents the brokenness of the traumatized mind. You will not have an easy story to follow. It's just all flashes.
The events you are about to see took place in the 1970s and 80s in Argentina during the so-called Dirty War, the years of the military junta. These events happened after Juan Perón had died and after his wife, Isabel, who succeeded him, was ousted by the junta. By the time the military regime had ended, some 20,000 people had disappeared. Over the Mass Grave, God Among Us, is only one chapter of the miraculous true story of Jay-Z, also known as Fiery J and Jorgelina Zeoli, a woman who, without ever taking any medications or turning to drugs or alcohol, survived physical and psychological violence, military violence, childhood trauma, psychosis in the family, and much more. May this program inspire other victims and survivors to reach out and tell their own story as well. For as the truth comes to surface, the wound shall be healed.
This presentation is dedicated to victims and survivors of violence, in particular, victims and survivors of war and dictatorships. This presentation is also dedicated to my cousin Alicia Wieland, who as a young woman participated in the resistance against the Argentinian military regime. As it happened to so many young people during those dark years in Argentina, Alicia was tortured by the military and thrown in jail for many years without trial. Unable to bear any more invasion to her body, Alicia refused medical treatment and died of cancer on August 11, 2008. On a different note, you may have been wondering about those two on the screen. The little girl is Jay. She is actually my inner child. The puffy creature sitting next to her is Mr. Pluff, although he responds to other names as well. Depending on her mood, Jay sometimes calls him, "You knucklehead." Other times she calls him God. Jay and Mr. Pluff are inseparable and have quite a relationship too. And having made all the introductions, let the show begin. I came to the States alone with $3,000 in my pocket, not knowing the language. I was 27. I looked 12. Inside, I felt young, innocent, helpless as a child.
Jay?
Yes?
Is that you?
Of course, you silly. Who else?
What are you doing here?
Just sticking out my little nose. And you don't sound too friendly, you know.
Well, sorry, little one. It's just that you belong in 1952.
Yeah, so?
Well, we are in 1979.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
No, we're not.
I think we're having a problem, little one.
We certainly are.
So what's the problem?
You say we are in 1979, and I say we are in 1952.
Well, that's a problem right there.
Well, that's no problem.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Jay, we just agreed we're having a problem.
Oh, really? Well, I changed my mind.
You changed your mind? You are driving me nuts.
That's quite all right. Women do that, you know.
Women do that? You're only a baby.
I'm certainly not.
You certainly are.
I'm certainly not.
Well, look at those puffy cheeks of yours.
Leave my cheeks alone, will you?
Jay, little one, we need to regroup.
Good idea. Let's regroup.
We agreed we had a problem.
And I changed my mind.
There we go again.
You knucklehead. We are both right.
We are both right?
We are in 1952 and we are in 1979.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure. I'm a baby and I'm a grown-up.
Jay, how do you do that?
Kind of flip-flop.
You kind of flip-flop?
Yeah.
And how do you know what age you are at any given moment?
I rarely know what age I am at any given moment. I am who I am.
That sounds so adult.
Do you like my puffy cheeks?
That sounds so not adult.
See what I mean?
By the way, I do like those puffy cheeks of yours.
I am kind of puffy. Am I not?
You certainly are, you curly puffy you.
I really like my puffy self. I really do.
At the Argentinian airport, soldiers searching my luggage. I had in my suitcase a list of 2,500 missing people that I was bringing for Amnesty International in New York.
Jay?
Yes?
Where did you get that list, little one?
From the mothers of missing children.
The mothers of Plaza de Mayo?
The mothers of Plaza de Mayo. Mothers who would meet every week in front of the government house to protest the kidnapping of their children and demand that they be returned home safely. Samantha is missing. We had been friends from childhood and now she is missing. Her parents are searching for her. Mary and Samuel, loyal friends of my mother from college. Their life has become a desperate search for their beloved daughter, Samantha, who is missing. Samantha, where is she? How is she? What have they done to her? Is she alive? Is she dead? Days and weeks and months and years searching for Samantha, who is missing.
Jay?
Yes?
What do you mean Samantha called to say goodbye?
People taken by the military sometimes were allowed a last phone call to their families before
being what?
Before being killed.
Samantha was killed.
Samantha was killed.
Jay.
Yes?
Jay, little one, would you like to go for a walk?
Yeah. Let's go for a walk.
A mass grave has been found. Parents searching for their children, digging in piles of rotting corpses.
Oh my God, the horror swallows me. My aunt's cleaning lady is throwing up. On her way to work, she has witnessed the aftermath of a shooting, dead and wounded alike, shoveled into a truck for disposal. Women's nipples cut with razors. He spent the night hearing the screams of his sister under torture. The breeze brings the smell of roasted flesh, and the screams of the inmates trapped in their cells being burned alive. Memories of hell keep coming back, they keep coming back. Flashback after flashback after flashback, swallowing me into deeper and deeper horror.
God, please God.
Hold on tight, baby. We are getting you out of here.
Please God, get me out of here, please God.
Jay,
Yes?
look.
What?
Look over there.
Where?
Over the mass grave, Jay. Look over the mass grave.
The beings of light.
The beings of light.
De las tinieblas y los ángeles de la luz desde el principio del mundo. Desde el principio del mundo, los ángeles de la luz y los ángeles de las tinieblas han luchado. Muchas veces los ángeles de las tinieblas de ángeles de la luz se han disfrazado y a nuestro corazón han llevado el engaño. El caos y la destrucción no termina con el libro sagrado. El libro sagrado no termina con la destrucción y el caos. La ciudad del amor, la ciudad del abrazo fraterno de los hombres, es lo que el Apocalipsis anuncia esperanzado.
Jay, little one.
Yes?
Are you feeling better, little one?
I'm feeling much better, thank you, God.
You're very welcome, Jay.
Gee, God, those flashbacks are from hell.
When you find yourself in darkness, call the light, Jay, and light will come.
Oh, really? And who told you that?
I kind of know those things, Jay.
Yeah. The light will come, and then all of a sudden I'll find myself sitting on a cloud playing chess with a puffy God.
I don't play chess.
Me neither.
All right, then. Let's do something else.
Okay.
Okay.
I met her downstairs. She was coming to get the list of the disappeared. The magnitude of the horror contained in those papers. As I hand the list to her, I break down in tears.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I'm right here, Jay.
Just arrived from Argentina, I spent 1 month in New York, staying at a friend's home. I am weak, coughing, sleeping all day. Sirens in the city's streets keep me awake at night. They come in the middle of the night, beat up people, make arrests, destroy homes. Sirens in the middle of the night getting closer and closer and closer. Are we next? Are we next?
Jay,
Yes?
you were so scared, baby.
Yes, I was.
Why were you so scared, little one?
My mother was working for a publishing house that was on a blacklist.
My sister brings the news. Martinez has been taken, she says. I am so angry, so angry. My mind explodes in rage. The military has taken one of the partners. We are on a blacklist now. There's no escape, no safe place to go to. There's no way out. Living moment to moment, waiting to be taken, waiting to be tortured, waiting to be killed. Terror, madness, rage, madness, buried under helplessness. Survival, blackness.
Hey, God!
Yeah.
It's all black in here.
Well, that's all right, little one. I unplugged you.
You did what?
I unplugged you, Jay.
Oh, yeah?
Come on, Jay. Would you rather be unplugged or crazy?
Unplugged works for me.
That's what I thought.
You did, didn't you?
Uh-oh. Jay, what have you done?
You unplug me, I unplug you, so there.
Jay, you can't do that.
Too late, mister.
So what do we do now?
Beats me, buddy.
It's all dark in here.
Told you so.
All right, let's go to sleep.
That sounds like a good idea.
Sleeping is good.
Sleeping is very good.
My brain would shut off. I was going insane with terror, and my brain would simply shut off.
Jay,
Yes?
you are safe now, little one.
I am safe.
You are safe, baby.
A mind blown up into 1,000,000 particles, desperately trying to pull itself back together to create a thought. Such is the mind shattered by trauma.
God,
Yes?
do you like fried noodles?
Why do you ask, little one?
Just checking.
Living in a world of memories, flooded by memories, bombarded by memories, memories being triggered by anything, by everything. All there is memories, 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 and the fog. that thick fog that paralyzes you, that thick fog that renders you non-functional, the fog that takes you to a place where there's nothing. No thoughts, no feelings, just numbness, just blankness.
God?
Yes?
I hate the fog.
Don't hate the fog, Jay.
Don't hate the fog.
The fog is your friend, baby.
Yeah.
The fog is protecting you, little one.
Yeah.
And as you heal, the fog will clear.
Oh, really? And who told you that?
I kind of know those things, Jay.
Yeah.
You don't believe me, do you?
Well, not really.
I didn't think so.
I didn't think so either.
Oh, well.
We agree on that one, don't we?
You have been healing, Jay.
Yes, I have.
Your flashbacks are getting less and less intense, less and less frequent.
Yes, they have.
Your mind has been getting clearer and clearer. You've been functioning much better.
Yes, it has. Yes, I have.
See what I mean?
What do you mean, you knucklehead?
I guess we still have a way to go, don't we?
I guess we do.
What I mean, little one, is that there is hope.
There is hope?
There is hope, baby.
And who told you that?
I kind of know those things, Jay.
Yeah. He thinks he knows everything.
The unconventional format of what you are about to see is intended to facilitate the shift from the logical mind to the dimension where faith, compassion, and hope reside. The discussion that followed watching the film led to several topics. The underlying thread, however, remained unbroken: the desire to create a bridge that would lead from despair to hope. The initial response to the film was gentle, soft, intimate.
incredibly touching.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yes.
The drawings, their illustrations, were drawings. So heartfelt, simple.
Something to say about simplicity.
Speak to many. So I just wanted to say how beautiful Jay is. Like how heroic and how incredibly innocent and real, and like her anger and her questioning of God, and so beautiful. Her courage and just her honesty. It's just so beautiful, that presence of God, the way that God is with Jay through all of it, and guiding her and helping her. And that for me, like I was so touched when Mr. Puffy God says, "You'd like to go for a walk." All those little things that are just so like, they so respond to the child.
It's a real relationship.
Yeah.
It is a real relationship. Yeah. Going on in there.
And when the flowers grew, the beings of light came to the grave, and the flowers grew. So beautiful. Yeah. It's very touching.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I'm very much struck how Jay, there was never any sense from Jay of anything but benevolence from God. Maybe a little prankster, you know.
A little what? What is that?
The trickster, is it 1952 or is it 1979, you know, or how do you know that? Or, you know, but there's never any sense of any malevolence or disappointment, you know, or condemnation.
At that point, I had to explain that there had been a time when I had felt total disappointment in God, total condemnation. See, this relationship is the expression of something very real that happened in me. And it got going when I realized that I hated God, and I needed to say it. I had been cut off from God, and I was giving him or her the silent treatment. God did not exist for me. And I think it just happens on automatic, and this is true for many people that go through horrible things. We hate God. How could this have happened? How can God, a benevolent God, let this thing happen? That question is in many people's minds, and it wasn't mine. And then my therapist, I was in therapy for 22 years, and he told me, talk to God, Jorgelina. And I said, no, I'm not talking to that guy. No way, I can do without it. I was just so angry. And when I connected with that anger and I started writing, and it really came up, it's actually in my first book, which is Memories of Childhood Trauma, and I wrote and I felt it. I said, how could you, God? How could you do this to me? How could you let the heart of a child be broken in a million pieces over and over and over again? I needed to get through that hatred, and it was solid hatred. Groups. I have met many people that carry this not wanting to have anything to do with God. And I realized that that is the block that is stopping them from healing, keeping themselves cut off. And so that is a major thing to get through. Eventually it does become that loving and tender and funny because the anger was removed or sort of processed. And God said, "The illusion of separation from me, who will never leave you, is causing you great distress, and sorrow drowns out your light. Come back, my children, come back to me. Come back into my arms." One of the things that happen to people that have been victimized is that we become silent. And that's the meaning of some of the slides there that are not spoken, it's just words. It's like, I can't talk. When I connected with my rage and my rage at God, that's how I became empowered. So that is in one of the slides when I'm chasing God with a stick. That's the meaning of it. The moment I connected with my rage and I started chasing him, and he plays with it. He plays dumb a lot. But that is a very important piece, to own our rage and then decide how we use it. So I'm sorry that I destroyed your image of all benevolent.
No. I do understand you're needing to work through that to get to that point, but in this film, I didn't see that range.
Right.
This is post working through that.
That's right.
Yes, and
That's right.
that's what I was referring to.
Yeah. I could have died many times because I wanted to die. I wanted to die. When darkness fills my soul and I am all alone, where to go? I feel so lost, home to call. All my dreams are shattered, I am drowning in despair. I can't go on, I just can't go on. All my hopes extinguished, I am hungry by a thread. My God, I can't go on. I have been in that level of darkness, which was being cut off from God. There's nothing more painful than being in the darkness where you are cut off from the source. How did I come out of that without medications and have this connection? It's just a miracle.
I had a similar type of experience in my journey. I had a health issue that was basically torturing me all the time. There was no known cause, no known cure, so there was nothing medically that would be done to help. And I remember making the decision that I prayed to die. I wanted to die, it was so bad. And one day I heard this voice said, "You will heal completely."
Wow.
And it was that similar, I think, to what you're saying. It's that point of you think you have no return, and then the voice speaks. And at that point, I knew, I trusted the voice. I remembered that through everything that I had to go through sign up for maybe 2 years of therapies or whatever, whatever it was going to take. I was willing to push forward once I had that information. It was different from yours, but speaking to Mr. Pluff in your demonstration in the film, it is such a loving, warm representation of that inner divine self, or however people want to look at the divine and how they connect with it. I mean, you portray it beautifully.
Mm-hmm. What comes to me right now is this reality of experiencing a voice speaking to us,
Mm-hmm.
that many people have, versus people that don't believe in this kind of thing. For me, it was hearing that voice and then making a commitment to establish the relationship. For so long, I would hear this little thing in there telling me what to do. I would just ignore it. Until I started realizing the moment I ignore it, I get in trouble. And the moment I made a commitment to really listen and follow, my life is changed.
Mm-hmm.
It's changed. And actually, in one of the first slides when God and Jay are driving, she's driving.
Yes, I remember in the traffic.
She won. Yeah, we were in a traffic jam.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
There's a whole traffic jam thing, which actually he says that is a shortcut. Traffic jam is a shortcut. That's another story. But I drove for a very long time, and he was sitting on the passenger side.
Mm-hmm.
Now he drives. I call it he. I mean he, she, doesn't matter. But now the voice drives. I don't. I just follow. And when I don't hear it, I just wait until I hear it again. And it's just powerful. Because at the moment I connected with this thing in me that I feel like a powerful, very sophisticated, very finely tuned mechanism from where this voice comes, I don't need to worry about anything, because this thing knows what I need every moment of the day. I don't need to worry.
You just need to listen.
And follow. And many times following is very difficult.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And many times following means doing something that makes no sense whatsoever from here. It makes no sense. But the moment the trust is established and we follow it, it's amazing. Life becomes just one miracle after the other. And life is a miracle.
Mm-hmm. There's another thing that you mentioned that I experienced also, is that when the trauma gets so bad, the brain shuts down. Is that when the overwhelm, which didn't take very much because of the physical condition that I was in, my brain would shut down. It would just turn off.
Right.
And that's all there is to it.
Right. And then you have this big blank in your head.
And there's nothing.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing. There's no, I mean, when we learn to meditate, they say still the mind because you have all these things going through like a train going. There is nothing at this point. Absolutely nothing going on. And at that point, when the voice speaks, it's clear.
Right.
In that moment when the voice speaks, it's clear as can be.
And it speaks even when the mind is not working.
That's right.
Because it's coming from a different place.
That's right.
This is where the hope comes in.
It actually feels to me more like the heart shutting down than the mind. It feels like in the overwhelm, it's the heart that shuts down. A quiet mind is very receptive, but a heart that's shut down is not letting anything out or anything in.
That's right. It's both. The head goes blank and the heart is broken. The heart is shattered.
I think we can live very nicely with the head shut down, but not with the heart shut down.
And it's different than a quiet mind as most people know it. This is different. This is the brain shuts down. I was in extraordinary pain for years, extraordinary pain. And when the brain shut down, the pain quieted. It was the only thing that could get the pain to stop for any period of time. And the brain literally shut off. It's a little different because I've meditated. And it's very different than stilling the mind.
Because you can't function with a head where thoughts don't come together.
In that one point, I came to this place where it was like, I can't take this, this is too much. Like, that was the one place in this where I felt like overload.
The music?
The organ music?
The organ music in that one point where there was the mass grave. It just was like, the way that it pressed, the vibration pressed on me emotionally was like, it was like going into an overload place.
Do you feel like that was effective? If
Yeah.
the overload
Right.
during the mass grave is
I thought it was effective, but I also thought it was like playing on me in a certain way that was like stop this is too much.
Yeah.
And isn't that clear that that's probably how
you were
Jay
feeling.
was feeling?
Yeah, so it feels like it really captures it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I did feel the overload, like the, kind of like nails on a chalkboard. And it was appropriate, even though it was uncomfortable.
Well, that's the thing. This is not a piece to feel comfortable with.